This morning I'm back at the field with the RCPowers F35 version 2. I'm testing the flight stabilizer from Hobbyking. That's the orange RX 3-axis flight stabilizer. Before I test it, I had to do one modification to the plane, which is to cut down this divider behind the prop. I spoke to Scott and Dave. I emailed them about this. A spiral prop wash that comes off the prop was hitting the divider and giving me no left rudder. It was blocking the rudder. The stabilizer will not be able to work properly unless the rudders are working properly. I'm going to bring it down and turn up the rates a little bit on the stabilizer and see how far we can go before it starts having a detrimental effect. Alright, let's turn that up. We'll go to about 75% here. And then once I get the feel of it, I'll start cutting, increasing rudders, decreasing aileron, try to fine tune it. Okay, so now you can see the action I'm getting. That's probably a little bit too much, but let's see what it'll get me. I can see a little wiggle, low roll, great, little wiggle there on the roll. For wide loops, there's really no effect. All right, see if I can get anything going on high alpha here. Gonna keep the high alpha level a little bit higher until I get an idea of what the stabilizer is gonna do. Don't see any kind of difference with the stability in high alpha. All right, well, let's bring it down and increase it just a little bit more. All right, because of the jitteriness on roll, I decreased the roll just a little bit, increased the rudders and the pitch stability a little bit. So roll is less, yaw is more, and pitch is more. You can see that wiggle now on the rudders. The yaw is a little bit too high. Having a hard time looping now because of the pitch. You can see it fighting the loop. All right, everything's too high. All right, so I still have the roll rate a little bit lower. And I've got the rudders now turned back to about 75%. That was about 80 before. And the pitch is probably about the same. All right, less wiggle for sure. The loop is back to what it was before. That was a rudder roll. All right, we'll bring it down and do one more fine-tune adjustment. So the rudders are good. You can see that little shakiness there on roll. Whoa. So let me try to get rid of that. One thing I just noticed here is trying to stall the plane, the nose drops down. You cannot get it to stall down backwards. The nose is just dropping right there. I don't know if that's the design of the F35 or the stabilizer doing that. Okay, see, nose drops right down. Can't fall backwards like with the MiG. And it seems to be a lot more stable. Although I can't get the angle as high as I did before. As a final adjustment here, I'm going to turn down the pitch a little bit more to see if I can get that higher angle on high alpha. It looks like maybe it's trying to control the pitch a little bit too much to the point where I can't get the nose up. Alright, the nose is getting up there again like it was. You can see the stabilizer doing its job. This is actually pretty amazing considering the kind of crosswind I'm dealing with here, to be able to have this much control. Amazing, look at that. What a great plane. So after the flight at the field this morning, I see that the flight stabilizer does work. This plane may be the wrong plane to use for it though. It's so stable to begin with that you don't get that much benefit from the stabilizer on it. For example, the roll rate is at about 60% and the pitch and yaw about 70%. Now, just for reference, 50% setting on this really doesn't do much. The control surfaces just barely move at 50%. So I've really not got too much dialed into this plane because it's already so stable. One other thing I wanted to mention, the reason why I cut down this divider here is for my slow flying, the high alpha and slow flying aerobatics where I'm depending on thrust vectoring. If you're flying around the field and you have plenty of airflow, this is not going to affect rudder performance too much. My concern is when I start flying very slow that I'm 100% dependent on thrust vectoring to keep this plane in control. And that's where the rudder action is going to be important for the stabilizer to work.